friction distillation later on, right? They'll feel like confused. Then I don't know whether to mark QSA or not. Don't know how to mark. So just use some economic terms to cover. All right. Not every lecture is from science stream. Okay. So this is cost push inflation diagram. Pretty easy. However, for cost push inflation, we don't have Keynesian model to show. Why is that? 刻印 Missy. You see, just now demand pool, right? We can use two models to show, right? Remember? We just drew it like half an hour ago. How many of you still remember? Because you all nowadays have goldfish memory, right? You can't even remember. Oh, today I drew how many diagrams? What did I do? I don't know lah. I just remember what is frictional distillation. That's all, right? So why in cost push, right? We can only use ADAS model to represent, but we cannot use Keynesian model. Any idea? Missy say, I have no idea. Not don't know. All right. Let me ask one more. Zulaika. Huh? Not here yet. Zulaika. No. Or Zulaika LE. Siri, any idea? Yeah, so very close, but I cannot hear you. Let me bring my laptop. You speak again. Oh my god, I mean this is not late, this is very late. I mean I almost forgot your assist already.
Sorry, sir. I missed out the class. Sorry, sir.
You missed out. Why you miss out?
The laptop just now all of a sudden off already. Then I cannot charge it. Sorry, sir.
To show your face for a few more seconds. Because yeah, again.
Keynesian model is about aggregate expenditure, but this is about the aggregate supply.
Yep. Does it make sense to all of you? Because in Keynesian model, we don't have AS, so we cannot show a decrease in AS. Actually, in Keynesian model, we have AS, but it's not in your syllabus. So just think that we don't have AS. Easier for you. All right? Yeah, everything have fun. Only we never show you, that's all. So, cost push inflation is very easy to draw. You just need to draw AS curve decrease. Right? Just draw this, ladies and gentlemen. I think I don't need to show you how to draw this. Just draw it in the next class practice 2. Right? Just draw it here. I give you like 30 seconds more. First, I want to check the book. You know the sun as a class, right? You look like very less energetic. Is it because I did not assign you to become my classmate again? So you feel very sad? Have to highlight you already, Then? Ivy, I don't know what to say, Ivy. This one I have to mark it as absent already, because it's too late already. You'll be late and absent together. You just enter, is it? Okay, lor. Done? Any question on this diagram? Very simple, right? Easy to write. Make sure it's price level. I don't want to see the word price there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is macro, not micro. Yes, we still use P to represent in there, but on top there, I want to see price level, not price. Price is for microeconomics, and you are in macroeconomics, right? In case you don't know how to pronounce, it's macro, not macro, whatever, macro, right? Big Mac, macro, not Big Mac, right? MacBook, not MacBook, all right? Macro, all right? Just in case you are already week 7, you still don't know how to pronounce. Oh, I'm studying macro. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so again, I always put all this explanation behind the diagrams. It's not to increase your workload, but just to let you see how I explain. All right, using the diagram. So if aggregate spelling, blah, 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 cannot be met by, now this time is AD. AD will remain the same, right? General price level increase. I always use general price level or price level at least, right? Leading to level shift or decrease in AS. It will result in national income equilibrium to fall as well. There are also other causes that you can use, right? Increase in the money supply. Normally, we associate this in demand pool, like what I showed here. Can I associate it with cost push? Why I put others? Because all the causes of inflation that we covered for demand pull and cost push, they can be written the other way, can be written into demand pull or cost push. For demand pull causes, I can write it under cost push. For cost push inflation, I can write under demand pull. It depends on how you write. So I put some factors under others because I want you to know that these factors can be rewritten into another scenario. That's why I always told you what depends. Why? Because it really depends on the answer. So if I want to write this factor, initially I show you is demand pull, right? Just now. Demand pull factors. Increase in money supply. Demand pull factors. What if suddenly I ask you to write cost push, then you cannot remember any factors about cost push, then you only remember increase in money supply. So how are you going to write this? And change it to cost push. Any idea? Guan think. Sir, I will watch back the recording. All right, Ivy. Yeah, just now I forgot to record. How, Ivy? Oh, no, the chat is just on top. Yeah, I'm not reading. Yes, Miss Tan. I need to go there, is it? Okay, while waiting, right, let me. Yes, how to turn it into cost push. Come on. We are in express class. Please expedite. Can we see the face? I off the screen for you. See, you're so shy. Off screen already. So, it's not inside. You look at the notes also. They only talk about demand pull, right? I want you to talk about cost push. Yep, you have to link to increase in investment, right? Another way you can link, right, ladies and gentlemen, increase in money supply You can link it to government as well. You can link it to government. Okay, one thing I want to tell you is government also borrow money. If increase in money supply means what? Interest rate goes down. Interest rate goes down means government also borrow money. Government borrow money to do what? To spend on Hermes. What government do? Using the money. If they borrow money to do what? To build hospitals, right? For example, assuming they are not corrupted government, right? To build hospitals. If they build hospitals, right, do they need to buy the sand? Do they need to buy the bricks? Do they need to buy the cement? Then what happened to the price of bricks, sand, and cement? It will increase. Then as a property developer, private sector, if I want to buy brick, sand, and cement, what will happen to the price? Also increase. So it will lead to cost push. So housing price will increase. Shop price will increase. Factory price will increase because of government also buy stuff. Make sense? So you can link it to cost push as well. Second is the depreciation. You can link it to cost. You can also link it to demand pool. Depends on how you want to write. Right? If MYR, actually all this one I forgot to add this now. Every time forget. You'll just add yourself. Too many versions already. I don't know which version am I using. Forgot to add this. Right? For depreciation of MYR, I want to see whether you can link to demand pull and cost push or not. Right? Let us start with demand pull. How to link to demand pull? Who is next? Yuan Xing. Then link to demand pull. By right, not everything I should give to you.
The purchasing power of import goods reduced.
We don't use purchasing power for imported goods. Purchasing power is just general economy, like we buy lesser goods and services, right? It's regardless of local and imported. Does it make sense? For example, Baskin Robbins 31% off during 31st. Everyone line up, means our purchasing power increase, but for that one is imported goods. We can still use for purchasing power. We can also use it for local goods. Does it make sense? So don't link to purchasing power. It's not related to demand pull. No, it's linked, but I don't know. It's not in here, not in here. Yes, because the problem is I can link to everything. That's why. Yeah. Hey, my hand is a little hand arm already, you know. I'm still waiting. Is it because I never show your face, so you don't want to speak? Come on. Think. What about you? What about the rest? How to link to demand pull? What about you? What about you? How to link to demand pull? There are many ways to link to demand pull. Many ways. There are always many solutions to one question. Right? Okay, Chen said Let's see what Chen said. Chen said a decrease in MR leads to fall in value of money, which leads to decrease in purchasing power. Oh, this is exactly what she said. They feel poorer, so they consume lesser. Consume lesser, wouldn't it lead to lesser price? So cannot do it. You cannot do it like that. Right? Let me show you. MYR decrease means what, ladies and gentlemen? Import price increase. Although they never increase in their country, but increase in our country, like we see that it looks like increase. Does it make sense? It feels, the price increase feels more expensive or look more expensive. But actually it will become more expensive in your country. So when imported products become more expensive, we have to consume substitutes. Substitutes of imported product is what? Local products. Everything I have to give you. Consume increase for local products. Local products is recorded under consumption. It's not recorded under exports. Export is for other countries to buy our products, right? Read properly, it's recorded under consumption. When consumption increase, AAD will increase. When AAD increase, what happened? Demand pull, inflation. This can be one way. Okay, there are many ways that I will say. Go and think yourself how to write. Okay, there are many stories. That's why when two students came to me and say, sorry sir, we did not copy, we just have similar answers. That is nonsense. Because one story I can write like 5 or 50 versions, right, with different answers, right? So don't tell me you cannot write, right? If I want to talk about cost push, I'll just give you one each due to I don't have the luxury of time. When MYR decreases, right? Now I talk about still imported products. It becomes more expensive, but these products must be raw materials. Link it to suppliers. Raw materials increase in price, right? You can think about chocolate, think about cheese, think about anything that's imported. For some countries, even petrol is imported. Make sense? So if their currency drop, what happened to their petrol price? Increase. So it will affect all the other stuff. Raw materials increase in price. Cost of production increase. And it will lead to cost push inflation. All right? Less money, feeling period, less money enter the economy. Actually, more money will enter the economy. Thank you for your question, Churang, as well, and Chen Chen just now. Great question. All right. Why less money will enter? When our currency depreciates, right? More money will enter our economy because our goods are cheap. All right, our goods are cheap. I will talk about that in chapter 6 more. Next one is budget deficit. Budget deficits, you need to know what is deficit. Deficit means spending greater than revenue. Spending or expenses greater than revenue. Please write down. Deficit means expenses greater than revenue. Budget deficit means government budget spending is greater than revenue. Right? Or in other words, is injection greater than leakage. Revenue, this one, right? Expenses greater than revenue. Right, surplus means, budget surplus means revenue greater than expenses. This one you must know. Okay, one is expense greater than revenue. Another is revenue greater than expense for surplus. Most of the government, they have budget deficits because of they cannot they earn not enough to pay for the debts, right? I showed you this one before. Why more money enter the economy? I will say, like what I say, thank you for question. But due to other luxury of time, I'll explain it in chapter 6, right? Too many stuff to explain. Actually, everything is linked together. Remember, I showed you this US debt clock. Why I need this debt? Why I need a no. Right? This is not only for US. Actually, a lot of countries they are facing this issue where their debt is greater than their revenue. Okay, basically you can see the revenue is the green one, something like that. The debt is the red color one, right? The debt is 30 trillion. Their revenue is only what? 4. How much I need to pay back 30 trillion if I can only earn 4 trillion, right? And I haven't calculated interest. You know that we have interest for loan, and I haven't calculated compounding daily interest. If you, by now you should know what's compounding daily, right? Okay, so it will also lead to both result, demand pull or cost push, right? If government spend more, the easiest way is to write about demand pull because government increase in spending, AD increase, demand pull. Make sense? You can also talk about cost push. Cost push, just now I link it to interest rate goes down. Now you have to just link it to straight away government spending increase, leading to all the raw material price increase in price. All right. Others like decrease in interest rates. Decrease in interest rate usually we can talk about demand pull if we want to use savings interest rates. Savings lesser, consumption goes up, AD goes up, right? If you want to talk about cost push, you talk about loans. These loans apply to corporations, business loans, right? Loan increase, investment more, cost push. Make sense? So it depends, really depends on how you write, seriously. Right? Protectionism, like tariff and quotas, this one we will cover in chapter 6, but it can also lead to demand pull and cost push. Right? If we have a tariff means tax on imports increase. So again, substitution effect, we will buy back our local products, leading to local products price also increase. Cost push is like due to the price increase for imports, same thing, cost push, like all the raw materials increase in price. Lastly is expectation of inflation. Okay, expectation of inflation, just now I use what? For cost push, right? Expectation, I talk about cost push. Actually, you can also talk for demand pull, right? Demand pull, right? This time you have to use consumers think what will happen in the future, right? Then it will lead to C increase. So I will, why more money enter the econ? Oh, there's just now. All right, I will answer that next time. Okay. Any question for others before I move on to measurement? Wow, great job, everyone. No question. It only means 2 things. Either I teach too well or you understand fully. Wow, both also great job. Clap, clap, clap. Right? You all say one, no question, huh? Later I have to reply another 20 message there. Oh my God, is we don't know what to ask. You cannot say don't know. I told you how many times already wrong. We have no idea, right? No idea is better. Choice of words is very important. We don't know what we don't know. Exactly right. Yeah. Hey, you're here, right? Aisha not here. Aisha where? Who is Aisha? We don't know what we don't know. Yeah. I also don't know. I also don't know what you don't know. Right? So what to do? You have to tell me what you don't know lah. Then only I can help you to address one, right? Lectures are like doctors only. You go to a clinic and say, I don't know. Which part am I sick? Oh, okay lah. Now take Panadol, go home. That's what doctors do, right? So amazing, yeah. I don't know whether it's for me, but thank you, Churang. When we do revision, then we look for you. Yeah, cool. I will reply back. When you do revision, but I will reply it next semester. All right? Are we cool? Deal? Or maybe next year I reply next year. Still replying, right? Right. So next one is CPI. CPI is quite a big chunk also. CPI is the consumer price index we use to measure inflation, right? We cannot say I want to measure inflation, but I don't know how, right? If I want to measure weight, I use kg to measure weight. I use pounds to measure weight, right? Inflation, we use CPI to measure. How to measure? I will tell you. Right, this is CPI. CPI is a basket. This is where I comes to the definition of basket, right? In the real, there are too many things. Oh my, hang again. Okay. In the real, there are too many things that the government cannot measure everything. So what happened? The government have to choose what to measure. Does it make sense? First of all, for example, they will always choose something that is heavily consumed in their country, based on their culture, their religion, and based on their history. Make sense? This is the basket. This basket is CPI. Okay. For example, you consume house. So they put house there. You consume car. So put car there. Right? You consume rice. For Western countries, they don't put rice, by the way. Western countries, they consume bread. So they put bread more compared to Asian. Right? Really depends on your country, which one you consume more. Right? You consume, what else you consume? Durian. Only Malaysia and Thailand. A lot. Durian. Then they put durian. Make sense? Other countries, obviously, they will not put durian there. Right? Daya, do you eat durian before? Yeah, exactly right. Maybe Daya don't even know what's durian. Do you know what's durian? You smell before? Do you feel like you want to vomit? If you you haven't smelled before. Never smell. Anyone can bring durian? Anyone durian orchard farm there? No? I thought all of you like no deals. Oh, for that one. Okay lah. So this is a basket, right? And this is your country's basket. Okay. So normally they will monitor it monthly, yearly. But you know lah, your countries, so it's only yearly. Sometimes it's like lag behind yearly. Some countries they measure monthly, more accurate, right? Your countries and most they can do is under quarterly. They never do under monthly, to be honest. I don't know what they are doing, but they never monitor properly. So that is also depends on country. Okay, so just to show you what is a basket in real term is like that. So you just need to type DOS Malaysia. DOS stands for Department of Statistics Malaysia. They have a lot of data for you if you want to do assignment next time for your economics assignment in uni, right? So you have to go to time series. How many of you like did time series already? Data in maths. Time series? Not yet. Maths 3, is it? Then you go to Malaysia Economic Statistics. Then the number 4 will be CPI, Consumer Price Index, All right, let's have a look. What is inside the basket? So the basket just include the necessity, is it? What about alcohol? Ah, Abby, good question. That is exactly why I want to show you this. Right? I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, Malaysia did include alcohol in their basket, right? However, due to we are Islamic country, we separate it into halal and non-halal basket. Yeah, something like that. So this is what we do. Not every countries follow that. Every countries will just lump everything together for food and beverages. In Malaysia, you can see that there will be food and non-alcoholic and alcoholic and tobacco. Because we are Islamic country. Something like that. Does that make sense? So they still include that. The basket will include alcohol as the demand is quite high. Yeah. Surprisingly, wow, I have no idea you all like to drink so much. Yeah, seriously. When they want to ban the pubs during lockdown, like until like recently only they open back. The pub is already open like 3 months ago. Langkawi, Kedah want to ban Langkawi from having alcohol. You know that? You know that news? Kedah. Langkawi is under Kedah, right? And they say they want to ban alcohol and gambling. They did ban the gambling. All this like 4D cannot be there, right? Do you know that? Ban the gambling. Straight away was shocked. No, Langkawi was like, huh? We are doing tourist destination along the beach and you don't allow them to drink alcohol? What you want them to drink? Coconut. You know what I mean? They drink coconut. Oh, coconut is so nice. You know, they drink what? Fizzy drinks. Oh my God. They was like, oh my God, the tourists, all those restaurants, all those, they want to have a strike, no? They want to my ass, I don't want to do it, all close business. You know what I mean? So that is why they also include alcohol. And this is the basket, the real one. As you can see, I just downloaded it. Food and non-alcohol, alcohol and tobacco, clothing, housing, furnishings, health, transport, communication, recreation, education, restaurants, and miscellaneous, right? This is our basket, right? Like what I say, we cannot include everything. We just include something that you consume the most. Even the car, we cannot include everything. We include normally Proton and Prodra because most of them we can only afford to buy Proton and Prodra. Yeah, something like that, right? Make sense? Then this is the basket. So when I talk about the definition of inflation, is a general price level increase in the basket of goods and services. It doesn't mean that all the goods and services price increase. It just means that this basket, the price mostly increase. So average out, it is increase in price. Make sense? Make sense? All right. Wow, the measurement. This is what I'm going to test you. First step is to choose what products to put inside. I really happy to handpick few just now. This is the first step, right? I still have how many minutes? 9 minutes on the right? This is first step. Choose what products to put inside the basket, right? Second, we need to assign how many percent or how many kilos or how many units in terms of your consumption behavior, right? Most of our income, do we spend on house? If we spend more on house, for example, we put like 50% for house, depends on the statistics. 50% of house. Maybe we spend 30% on car loans. Every day we have to pay, right? How many of you are already buying a car? Anyone? All of you like got your P license already, very happily can drift here and there. Anyone bought a car already? Do you know we have a thing known as car loan? You know, right? No, right? Okay. Maybe 30% of their income, either monthly, either yearly, depends on the country. right? Rice, maybe we spend 20% on all the normal needs, right? And durian, maybe some miscellaneous 10%, something like that. It will add up to 100%, right? Something like that. So this is second step. Second step, this one is second step, assign weightage. Third step is, of course, we want to measure price, right? We have to collect the price, right? Third step is to collect the price. So for example, housing, you have to spend like what, 2K per month. Car, you spend like 1K per month. Rice, you spend another 1K. Right, durian, maybe you spend 500. Right? This is the third step. Find the prices. Fourth step is to calculate the AE. AE is something like 50% times the 2K plus 30% times the 1K plus 20%, something like that. Of course, in the real, it's more complicated. It's very, very complicated in the real to count, right? Times 1K and 10% times 500. Okay, this is the A, right? Next one is base year. The percentage, did I do more than, I just imagine. Oh, sorry, this one is 10%. So this one is 15%, this one is 5%. Okay, this one is 15%, this one is 5%. Okay, make it like 100%. Okay. For example, if I show you, ladies and gentlemen, inflation of 100%, is it high or low? High or low? Online student, type in H or L. Churong say hi, what about you? High or low? Depends. Depends compared to which country. If you compare to Zimbabwe, if you compare to Sri Lanka is in chaos. Malaysia is going to be like Sri Lanka very soon. Do you know that? Do you know Sri Lanka? Anyone know about Sri Lanka case? No. Next time I show you, due to I don't have a luxury of time. Right, if you compare to Zimbabwe inflation is what? 1000% daily. Is your country 100% low? Yes. If you compare to Singapore is 1%, then your 100% is high. So really, one number doesn't mean anything. You have to compare with another number, either compare to another country or compare to previous years. So base year is to compare to previous year. But we cannot compare every day with different years. So we have to choose 1 year. Normally in economics, not for other subjects, in economics we choose year 2000 because it's not too far away from the 20th century and not too far away from the 21st century. But nowadays, UN decided to change it to every 10 years you must update your base year. So by right, your base year should be 2020. But due to lack of competency in your country, can you guess what base year we are using? Base year is when the value is 100. It's always 100 for base year. We are still using 2010, just as expected, right? They will blame the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't collect the data. Yeah, right. And then we have to use the AE in the current divided by AE base year. We also count the base year for AE, just like what I did just now, times 100. Finally, we can find inflation. Just take note, inflation, write down We still have 3 minutes. Inflation is the percentage of CPI. Percentage change of CPI. So CPI is not inflation. Percentage change of CPI is inflation. So the last step is to find percentage change. Okay? I'll show the formula next time. All right. Have a good rest. Your homework will be, almost forgot, oh my God. Exercise tutorial 3.1. Question 1. Reason, okay, you can do that. Diagram, you can do already. This one, don't do first. C, solution, we do later. Question 2A. Explain. Impacts, don't do first. Effects, we do later. Effects. And this one, question 5. So it's around 1, 2, 5. Okay, that's all. See you next week. Well, again, next week. Oh yeah, living a happy life.